Okay, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good evening or good night. And what I'd like to do is spend some time looking at how we can manage the chapter dashboard. Before we start doing that, what I'd like to do is I would like to show you we've got the chapter dashboard setting up events here and the chapter dashboard publishing events here. Now these are the most important documents on this page probably if you're thinking about updating and maintaining the website. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to help you to see how to do that. So what we'll do is here's my website here. We'll look at, this is my own website for Hertfordshire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up your website using some of the facilities in .NET Nuke. Now it's all drag and drop, and I can absolutely assure you that I'm not an HTML coder at all, but to do this you don't need to be. So what I want to do first is show you how to update the chapter dashboard, and then I want to show you some other tips on how to send HTML emails if you don't know HTML but you still want your emails to look good. So that's the two things that we're going to cover. So what I'm going to do is, this is the end result. Yeah, this is how it looks. But what I'm going to do is, the first thing we need to do up here in the right hand side rather, is click on Edit Page. And we've got this blue button here, which is simply edit this page. So we're going to click on this one. Now I'm just going to delete this just now. And what you see is that it's gone. So when you first of all log into your chapter page, you will have something like this, which will have nothing on it. So when you click on Edit Page, we can see we are in edit mode at the moment. So what I'd like to do is show you how we can put events onto our website automatically. So what we do is we go Module, and we go to Add New Module, which is just under here. And then we get a lot of different modules. Now there's quite a few of these, but the one that we are most interested in is called Events Display. And what that means is drag and drop this module to the page below. So I'm just going to drag Event Display down to the Contents pane just here. I'm going to drag and drop and let it go. Okay, so what we've got here is, I hope you can see that. I'm just going to start up Zoom It actually, because I think Zoom It probably might help a little bit. Now that I'm over 40, I find the writing and things really small. I don't know if you're the same. Okay, so when we zoom in, what we do see is we're almost there. We've dragged and dropped our module onto the page. And this is the most important bit. It says, the display module requires you to set up a template first. You may click the module menu, Edit Template, or click this to start template configuration. So I'm going to click on this. Now what you see here is there's a whole load of stuff. Yeah. Now you can change HTML in here if you want to, but personally I'm not going to bother. All I'm going to do is scroll down the bottom, and there's a thing here, Loads Default Template. Yeah. So Loads Default Template is exactly what we need. So I'm just going to come out of that, and I'm going to click Loads Default Template. So what that does is, it will go off and it will populate everything for you automatically. So if it doesn't find any events at all, it comes up with this message. But if it does find events, it will populate the events detail in here. Yeah. So we can see there's lots of HTML tags. You can go in and change these if you want, but this is the default template, so let's just load that. So we've loaded our default template, then all we need to do is click Save. And what the website will do now is it will go off and it will look for events for your chapter or your virtual chapter, and it will load them in order on the page. So we've done that. So all we need to do now is go to Edit Page and click on Close Edit Mode. And that's how the website looks now. So it really is quite simple to set up. And if you set up all of the events in your chapter dashboard, then it just reads them automatically. Now I know it probably doesn't look very exciting. If you want, you can go off and do HTML and make it look nice. So what I'm going to do is if I log out of here, you can see that's how the page looks when we land in it. It doesn't look too bad. Now I happen to use Eventbrite in order to set up my tickets. Yeah. So we can see here all of the details. The next meeting's on the Monday, the 1st of December, and that's my Eventbrite there. Now I happen to use Eventbrite because I like it. I've used it for lots of events. And this is how my Eventbrite page looks. So I use this in order to record and generate tickets for the event, and I like it because it allows me to tweet if I want. I can share it in LinkedIn, I can send it by email, or I could put Facebook on it. This is not part, Eventbrite is not part of the past setup. It's just an external piece of software which you can use online. So if you log on to Eventbrite, that's completely separate from Pass. It allows you to create free events and free tickets. That's all I use it for. But this is the Pass part here. And all it does is simply goes off, gets your events and puts them on the page automatically for you. So what we'll do now is we'll look at the meeting archive. Let's change that. So I'm going to log into the site again. It knows who I am. And this time I'm going to go to Meeting Archive. So I'm just going to delete that because I don't want it anymore. I'm going to edit the page first of all. So I go to Edit Page, click on Edit This Page. And both of these things I just want to delete right now. So we're starting with a blank edit page. Okay. So the page that I'm clicked on right now is Meeting Archive, yeah? I'm clicked on this button here, and what I want to do is show what the meetings we've had in the past. So again, we go up to Modules again at the top, and all I want to do is add a new module. So now there's a lot of modules here. We don't have time to go through them all. I would recommend you can set up a page yourself and just play around with it. But the one that I'm interested in here is Event Archive. It's just quite close to Events Display, which we saw here on the right hand side. So if you find that one, we've got Event Archive here. And all I want to do, again, I'm just going to put it in the drop module here, Content Pane page as well. Okay. So it says, and I'll click on it so you can see it a bit better. It says, you're almost there. This archive module depends, again, on another event display module to display event detail. So we have event displays, because I already have these in my chapter dashboard. So all we need to do here is click on Settings to start module configuration. So it's going to think about it. So what we can do here is if you go to Page Settings, so we just need to add this in. I'm just going to keep all of the default settings here. We're going to display the container, so that's quite an important one. Module container, I don't tend to use any of these things. What I might do is just put this It allows you to format how it looks. So we're going to try DNN Blue. And let's preview it and see how it looks. Do I like how that looks? It's a little blue table. I suppose it looks alright. So all I'm going to do is update. So it's thinking about it. Now you can see that I've had a small number of events for the Hertfordshire user group here. Now, so that's really quite simple, straightforward to set up. If I wanted, I can go in and edit the template, change it around a little bit. Again, I'm not an HTML person, so all I want is something that displays for just now, and that's how we do that one. So then I'm going to close the edit mode as well. So that's how we do it for the chapters, and I'm going to log out of that. So how do we then do it for the virtual chapters as well? Well, you'll be glad to know, I'm just going to close these, that's the documents there, that it's actually very similar for the virtual chapters as well. So again, I'm going to go to my chapter dashboard. So let's see how I can do that. So I'm going to go to pass.org. Going to think about it. So here we are, we've got the chapter dashboard here. Okay. So managing the chapter here is the business intelligence chapter. So what we have here is we can see the events appear. We've got recent chapter events. So this is the same as you would do if you were setting up a chapter. We'd add in our new event. This is something that we looked at previously, so I won't go through it again. But you can see the events are here. And when we go to I'll just use the business intelligence one as an example. So if I then go to bi.sqlpass.org, there we go. So this is the virtual chapter website, and it works very much on the similar principles as the one we saw for the chapter dashboard. So we can see here it's edit page. So I'm going to edit this page. And then you see when you start to wave your cursor over things, you can see the various components that make up this page. And the same principles apply here. So here we could edit the template if we wanted. So if I click on this one, it's the same principle as before, we're just adding in new modules. So let's see which one is the edit template one here. Okay. So again, this is just loading the particular event. And the way that it does that is it goes and gets the event that's going to the next one basically that's coming up and just displays it. So this time we've used the event module, which is up here. So go to modules, add new module, look for events. So we can see that there. I'm not going to add it because it's there already. And then we could start to add in various items. Again, we just load the default template and then you save the button there as well. I'm going to cancel that and close out the page. So basically, to summarise, the most important things you need to know are about adding a module, loading the template, then saving it. So it's really not very hard to set up. The main thing that you should do is make sure that your events are up to date. Once you have, so say for example, this event is on 10th of December. Once you've set up your events in here, in the chapter dashboard, we can see how it looks on the website when it's that time for it to appear. So it doesn't look too bad. So now the one thing I did want to talk about was how do you generate HTML emails? Now what I do is I always use the chapter dashboard. So let's go back and we'll use that again, sqlpass.org. So what we can do then is we will go to chapter dashboard down here, thinking about it. I'm going to go to my chapters And then you can see how many chapters are part of a lot of them. It means I get a lot of email. So here we are. We can actually send chapters out here. I can add in a new log email if I want. And the most important one here is probably sends chapter email. Okay, so here we've got a basic editor, or we've got a rich text editor. I'm going to go to the HTML one. And what I do, and there's probably other ways that you can do this, is I use MailChimp. Oops. There we go. Hello MailChimp. And I use this. I don't actually use it to send emails out, but I do use it in order to help me to generate email. So I'll show you how I get it to do that. So a login. Right, we'll do that later. So all I do in the right hand side over here is create campaign. I'm not going to use MailChimp to send the email, but it will generate for us. Oh sorry, I'm not going to create campaign. What I'm going to do is create a template. Use a template over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here is use the button create template. Okay, now it comes up with some quite pretty templates. I'm going to select this one. Okay, so what will happen here is it'll come up in a little minute with an untitled template. Now I don't need all this stuff here, so we're certainly not sending emails from Generitech. So all I'm going to do is use this button here, which is editing the block. Okay, so when you click on that, what I'm going to do in the right hand side here is use replace. Yeah. Now with MailChimp you've got the facility to upload pictures if you like. Now you can see here I've uploaded quite a few pictures, so what I might do, for example, is I might use the business intelligence one here. So let's select that one. Yeah. So we've got this stuff here. I don't need any of that. So this is the point at which I probably go to my event here. So we're going to cancel that. I'm sorry it's a bit slow. It's probably my web connection. So I'm going to go to my chapters and I'm going to see if I can find the business intelligence chapter. Where's it got to? Goodness, I'm sorry this is slow. So I've got my events here. So what I want to do is, say for example I want to send out the events that we are having on the 10th of December. I'm just going to, all I want is a text actually. So I'm just going to take this, I'll copy and paste that in here. This is just a sample text. You've probably got other text that you want to use. And in here, all I want to do is just simply, this is just an example for you yourself doing the session. You would probably want to have much more text in here. You don't need all of this, for example. So all I want to do is save and close. Yeah, save and close that one. Use settings and you could put in your own HTML if you want. This is just an example. We're a bit rushed for time, so I just want to take you through the basics. Now I don't need all this stuff here, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. Delete stuff I don't need. Now what you can do is there's a bit here which is unsubscribed from the list. I'm going to delete that as well. So what I will do here is I will edit this block, because I like this block because I can take this out Our mailing list is, and I'm going to put in my own email address for just now. In fact, let's use the past one, and I think the past one is passdwbivc@sequelpass.org. Now I want to change this link, so all I want to do is highlight it, go to the link, and then I'm going to put HTTP. No, that's right. www.sequelpass.org. That's all I want. I'm going to copy and paste that. Update subscription preferences. Again, all I'm actually going to do here is divert this back to the past link as well. And I'm going to take that out. And then I could put in the past logo, I could make it look better, but all I'm going to do for the moment is save and close. And that's how the email might look. Now I don't need this at the top, for example, so I'm going to delete this bit. There we are. So normally if this was your email, you'd have your own virtual chapter logo, you'd have your text with your events and so on and so forth in here. And then what we want to do is go to preview and test. And what you can do is send yourself a test email. Yeah. So this is my email address and this is what I do. JenStirrup@copperblue.com, so that's me. Send the test. Okay. And then I say thank you MailChimp because that's all I need from you. So once the email is gone, what I do is I've got my email here. So this is the one that I did earlier. You probably heard that email appear. So if the email arrives, I'm using it Outlook 2013, we've got this bit here that says, if there are problems with how this message is displayed, click here to view it in a web browser. That's actually the bit that we want. So all I'm going to do is click that, view in browser. Now that's my email here. This is how it looks. Okay, so I've put, this is one I did earlier that I did actually send out from the Business Intelligence first chapter. So I've got it in the browser here, and all I want to do is go down to here and do view source. Yeah, escape. So when I do view source, I get all this stuff here. So all I want to do is copy and paste that. And then all I want to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to pretend that I'm going to send a chapter email. So let's go back to my chapters. Okay. Chapter dashboard and then send an email. So I've got my HTML. Send new chapter email. Don't worry, I'm not going to send this out, but because it's got over 15,000 people on it. But what I am going to do, go back to HTML, copy and paste, and then all I want to do is preview it. Yeah. So I know that this one doesn't look very good, but if you spend some time in it, you could probably make it look much nicer than that. But the idea is all we want to do here is generate some HTML, which we could then send as an email. So all I want to do is send a test email so I can see how it looks before I send it out. So I'm going to call it please ignore, and I'm not going to send it to the master mailing list. What I'm going to do is send a test email. I'll put in pass BIVC, please ignore. Now look at the from address. The from address is coming from the official pass account, and I recommend that you use that if you can. I've asked the team to look at bounced emails and that sort of thing. I realised people were using personal email addresses to save getting a lot of spam sent to those email addresses, the past ones, but I've asked the team to have a look at if we can reduce the number of out-of-offices or just even filter the out-of-office email somewhere. So all I want to do is send a test email and off it goes. Yeah. So what that means is that email is not sent to 15,000 people, thank goodness, but it is sent to the past DWBIVC, sent to everybody on that mailing list who will get it and probably will be cursing me. But then when we check that email account, what we will see there is the final email, and we can decide if that's good enough to send out to everybody on the mailing list or not. Alright, so I realise that was a bit of a whirlwind tour. What we have done is we have looked at how to pull our events through onto our official websites. It's quite simple to set up. If you've got events set up and all you need to do is log in and add in your modules, then it uploads it automatically for you. And the second thing we wanted to look at was how to send HTML emails without knowing any HTML at all. And to do that, I just use MailChimp. There probably will be other ways of doing it. I just happen to like this because it's easy and it gives me some default templates. I copy and paste the HTML, preview it, then I send that test email and off it goes. Righto, I'm just going to check to see if I've got any questions, and no, I don't. So it just remains for me to say I'll be putting the recording up later on the Virtual Chapter website, and I'll send out the link. And thank you everybody for attending, but I hope these tips and tricks will help you to do things much more easily, because once it's set up and running, it's much easier for you to look after, I hope. And we can see we sent out an HTML generated email in less than 10 minutes. I know some people say it takes a long time to do, but I'm really hoping that that tip will help reduce the time. Alright, well thank you very much everybody. My email address is jenstirrup@sequelpass.org, so please don't hesitate to get in touch if you've got any other questions. And with that, we'll close step 3 of the Virtual Chapter Pathway, and next week we will look at social media, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for your time everybody. Bye.